Well, welcome back to the TCM intensive class, Module 2. Today we're going to be continuing on about the Tsang Fu in TCM, but I'm going to review because I don't believe in just giving you all this information and never revisiting it. So we're going to review in the form of charts and different types of cross-references. We're going to discuss the yin-yang concept, the 6 environmental factors, the 5 emotional factors, the 7 miscellaneous factors, the 5 elements, different types of qi, the direction, functions of qi, various theories of qi, shu, xin, and yi, the 8 principles, function of jing, shen, and blood, and our diagnostic TCM questions. So if you would turn to your page 1, you'll see that I have a grid there. And let's just talk about the TCM yin and yang relationships. How many yin and yang relationships do we have?
4.
4. Okay, and they are, what are they? Opposition, interdependence, mutual consuming, and
intertransformation.
Right. Okay, so what's opposition? What's the easiest, or what comes to mind? Day and night, or heaven and earth, because the Chinese and the Wangdi Neijing, they talk about heaven and earth. So that's your first one. Or sun and moon. Sun creates heat. Sun is yang. Moon is dark and cool. So that's one of opposition. Okay. But we have to remember that opposition is not absolute, because within every yang is a yin, and within every yin is a yang. So our second relationship is interdependence. Okay? So due to their nature, their relative nature of yin and yang, they cannot exist independently without each other. Okay? So they depend on each other. And we discussed the interdependence by way of the 5 elements. So if you have too much fire, you will deplete the yin. Okay? And if you have too much yin, you will deplete the yang. Okay? So that's interdependence also signifies the balance of each other. Okay? They mutually coexist and depend on each other. Okay? So there's a mutual coexistence. Okay, the third relationship is mutual consuming. So what does that mean? The third one. So there's a constant adjustment between yin and yang, a constant adjustment, okay? For instance, if we have a preponderance of yin, what does preponderance of yin mean? That would mean too much yin, or domination of yin. That would mean what? That how much would we have, more or less of yang? Less of yang. And if we have weak yang, what does that mean? Okay. And if we have a preponderance of yang, what does that mean? Too little yin. You can speak up, yeah. And if we have weakness of yin, what would we have? That the weakness of yin would be primary, and we would have what? Yang would be in excess. Okay, so this is the mutual consuming. It always has to, there's a constant adjustment. That's why having acupuncture regularly regulates the channels, regulates everything. You know, people say, well, how many times do I have to come for a session? You know, come often so we can regulate, because it has this wonderful healing property of regulating the channels, the meridians, the fluids, and all that. Okay, then we have intertransformation, and yin and yang can transform into each other, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that happen? What would be one example?
Spring and fall.
Spring and fall. And or is it abrupt?
No,
it's gradual. How about day and night? Right? Day and night. Okay, so it's gradual. Okay. So, yin-yang relationships, how many do we have? 4. What are they?
Opposition, interdependence, mutual consuming, and intertransformation.
OIMI. Okay? We have to think about, again, Chinese medicine is simple, but it's not easy. This is, yin yang, I know it. However, once we start getting into yang deficiency or yang excess or yin deficiency, this is still simple. And all the concepts, cold, heat, damp, that's easy. But when you put it all together and, you have somebody in front of you and they have mixed symptoms, that's when you have to really know everything, okay? So, opposition, everybody repeat after me. Opposition, interdependence, mutual consuming,
intertransformation.
Okay, again, opposition, interdependence. So they depend on each other, okay? Mutual consuming and intertransformation, okay? So heaven and earth is we can look at that as a primary yin and yang example. And heaven in Chinese medicine and throughout the Wangdi Meijing, the Yellow Emperor, brings heat, light, and expansion. So when you talk about heaven, and I hope you will discuss these relationships using these Chinese definitions and the way the Chinese wrote it in the old sacred texts.
I was reading about the rain coming down.
Yeah. So when we talk about heaven, so we can say, well, it's not just yang, it's about light, heat, and expansion. Heaven creates what? Okay. When you put a far infrared lamp on someone's body, it creates movement and warmth throughout the meridians. Okay, so we can. Okay, now how about earth? Earth is known to the Chinese as yin. Okay, and it brings form and matter, density, condensation. Okay, and the earth provides, what is the Gaia? What does the earth provide? Nourishment and coolness to the body's yin meridians. Okay. So I've left you spaces in your pages to fill that in and add whatever you'd like to add. Yeah? Okay? Okay, continuing on, we're going to look at the 3 types of essence. Now, again, we discussed this last time. What are the 3 types of essence? Are you on the right page?
Yeah. What's essence?
Oh, okay. Pre-heaven, post-heaven, and kidney essence. Okay, so how many types of essence do we have? 3. What are they?
Pre-heaven,
Pre, post,
post-heaven.
Right. Pre, post, and kidney essence. Okay.
KPK.
Okay. So pre-heaven essence is what?
DNA.
Okay, constitution. Okay. It's what we inherit from our parents when both your father and mother join together, their energies combine. The result of that is our pre-heaven essence. Okay, it determines our constitution and makes up our vitality, our strength, etc. Okay, so it's basically our constitution. Now, post-heaven is, once we're born, it's the food that we intake and the nutrition and the fluids that are taken up by and the Chinese like saying it, the stomach and the spleen, okay, after birth. So pre-heaven is constitution, post-heaven is what we ingest, okay? Food, Guqi, right? We're going to talk about the different types of qi, right? Food absorbed and taken in by the stomach and spleen, stomach. Now kidney essence is very interesting. Kidney essence is derived from both pre-heaven and post-heaven essence. Okay, kidney essence determines a person's constitution, okay, and it is replenished by post-heaven. Okay, so it's a combination of pre and post. Kidney essence determines growth, okay, reproduction, development, sexual maturation, aging, pregnancy. The Chinese hold a lot of power with the kidney essence. We have people, if they have gray hair, early at 19, we'll say a kidney essence. If they don't grow, they have a stunted growth, then we say the kidney essence. You've got to nourish or help with the kidney essence. If someone has difficulty in, I don't call it infertility, but fertility and issues, okay, they cannot get pregnant, a low sperm or no sperm motility, or the woman can't get pregnant, we work with the kidney essence a lot, okay? Okay, nourish that, strengthen it, okay? Okay, so yin and yang, how many relationships?
4.
How many relationships for essence?
3.
Great, and that's pretty easy, right? Pre-heaven, post-heaven, and kidney essence. Everybody understand that? Now we might find more, but this is what we're going to stick to, okay? We're going to stick to these concepts. Okay, moving on, we have types of qi. How many types of qi do we have?
9.
Okay, 9. So we have original qi. Why don't you list them?
Sorry, don't teach.
Original qi, kidney qi, food qi, which can be gu qi, gathering qi, nutritive qi, defensive qi, central qi, upright qi, and true qi. Now, although there are so many, we focus on a few, but let's go through all of them so we really understand, because, oh yeah, I know qi, but now we're getting into the depth, we're getting more into the depth of the theory behind TCM. So qi isn't just life force, but imagine every organ has a different type of qi, different energy, okay, different frequency, different direction of qi. So here is where we kind of break it down, and here we're going to discuss the different types of qi. So the original qi is related to essence. Essence, yeah. Okay, and if we're talking about essence, it relates to what organ? Kidney, that's right. Okay. So the qi is the foundation of all yin and yang energies in the body. Okay? It is the motivational force of all the physiological activities of kidney qi. Okay, so original qi, yuan qi, that's the constitutional qi, and it helps the transformation of gathering qi, true qi, and fu qi into the blood. Okay, so this is the original qi, okay, like kidney essence. Okay, kidney qi. Okay, so we have kidney qi. So if someone has weak kidney qi, what will some of the symptoms be? Maybe you can have low, that's right, okay, low energy, but frequent urination, things like that.
Scared easily.
Sorry?
Scared.
Scared, very good, because for kidney is related to what emotion? Fear. Peeing in your pants, right?
Okay.
Okay, good. Fu qi, or the other word that you can use for it, is gu qi, G-U and qi, originates from the spleen. Remember, we had a short form I gave you, TT. It does what? Transports and transforms, or transforms and transports food. Okay? Or transform. I think it should be transform, transport. First you transform, then you transport. So the spleen's function, and we will get into this more, but we're reviewing and bringing cross-references in that, okay? So if you don't understand something, don't worry about it. We're going to review it. So I'm not going to just give you all this information and then you're going to, what did we do last week? We're going to integrate everything. So the spleen, I call it TT. Okay, that's its function. And that's transform and transport, okay? And it's connected to the gu qi, fu qi, because it receives the fu qi and does its TT function, transform and transport. Okay? And this qi is the basic production for what? For the qi in the blood, in the, in the body. Okay, it combines with the air in the lungs to form gathering qi. And in the heart, this fu qi, gu qi, is transformed into blood. Okay, now, if you come from a Western background, this is going to be a little difficult to understand in this way, but just bear with me, and we're going to go over everything very systematically, and you will understand, but just try to take it in, because I think if you come from a typically Western medical background, it's going to be Gucci, you know, what do you mean it turns into blood, you know, well, that's more interesting, but what do you mean it turns into air, you know, so, okay. So the Gucci is what? Is transformed and transported by the what?
Spleen.
Okay, and it results in all the body's two things, qi and blood, right? Okay, it combines, Gucci combines with what in the lungs?
Air.
With air in the lungs and forms gathering qi, right? And in the heart, the fu qi is transformed to not air. In the heart, fu qi is transformed into blood. Okay, I think we went, okay. Okay, gathering qi is formed in the lungs, and it is a more refined type of qi than food qi. Okay, it's more refined. The function of gathering qi includes nourishing and promoting the function of the heart and the lungs. For the heart, it would be controlling speech. And we will understand that later when we do our cross-references. Heart has to do with speech. Strength of the voice, and promoting blood and circulation to the extremities. Gathering qi. Gathering qi, gathers the qi, okay, from what?
From the spleen.
From the
It's formed in the lungs.
lungs. Formed in the lungs.
Formed in the lungs.
Heart and lung.
It's,
No, hormones.
It's transformed.
excuse me. It comes from the Gucci, right? The Gucci goes to the spleen and the lung and the heart, right?
Right.
Okay, this is the theory, okay? Nutritive qi is our fifth one. It's also called nourishing qi. And this, remember, this is going to be nutritive and defensive qi, or wei qi. Nutritive or wei qi. That's our defensive. Nutritive nourishes inside the organs, okay? Internal organs of the whole body. It's related closely to the blood, but wei qi is outside, okay? It's in the outer channels of the body. I just want you to know the difference there.
So weight is number 6, defensive qi. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So like the skin.
We'll talk about that. Let's just finish off nutritive qi. So this qi, nutritive, nourishes all the internal organs, okay, in the whole body, related to the blood and flows with the blood vessels. Okay, now defensive qi, also called wei qi, which is W-E-I, what does that do?
It's like your body armor.
Your body armor. And it's yang because it's outside, as opposed to nutritive qi, which is inside. It's yang. So wei qi, defensive qi, is yang. It's a yang in relation to nutritive qi. Circulates in the outer channels of the body, in the space between the skin and the muscles. Okay? And as our students said, it's for protection and armor. Okay, so it protects the body from what?
Disease.
Outside.
Evil qi. Evil qi, okay. From pathogenic factors such as wind, cold, heat. Okay. Got it? Furthermore, it helps with temperature regulation of the body, okay? So closing and opening of the pores. Okay, that's your defensive chi helps with that. Okay? We have something called central chi. Okay? Now this has to do with the stomach and spleen. So think of central, the sound S, the sound is S, S, S. So central, stomach, and spleen, okay? And when we're talking about central chi, we're basically describing that function of the spleen's raising abilities, okay? The spleen raises.